What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Legit Whiskey Reviews. And today I'll be starting a bourbon collection with $200. All right, so I got a good one today. So, I was thinking, sometimes I get asked what are my favorite whiskeys, what I would choose if I only had a certain amount of money. I get asked different kinds of questions about different bourbons and stuff. So I decided to create a list of starting a bourbon collection with only $200. So it may sound like a lot and it may sound like not a lot, and so I just wanted to kind of like try to create a list of what bourbons I would pick for my bourbon collection if I only had $200 to work with. Also, as part of this list, I wanted to keep it to stuff that's for the most part available. I think all the bottles I picked are pretty much available anywhere and everywhere. Anywhere you go, you should be able to find these in most places. And also, I didn't want to make them like super expensive, so I have certain bottles that I could have thrown in there, but I didn't because of availability or just too expensive. I didn't want to go that route. So that's why I wanted to keep it kind of more limited. And also for these 5 bourbons that I mentioned here, I'm gonna have a backup bottles, so like alternative bottles to the ones I selected, just in case you can't find those in your area. And before I get started, let's take a sniff of this one. This is beautiful. So this is like orange peel, spicy, baking spices, a lot of cinnamon. This is beautiful. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, a ton of citrus, very spicy, cinnamon. So this one here will be on the list, somewhere on the list. So yeah, let's get started. So starting a bourbon collection with only $200. So let's say you want to get into bourbons and you want to start a decent collection, from bottom shelf to high proof, well regarded bourbons. So I was thinking, and this is my list here. So first of all, these would be maybe considered bottom shelf, but these are solid. This is a solid bourbon, and it is 100 proof. So we're actually first on the list. It's actually not 100 proof, but first on my list is Evan Williams 1783. So this one comes in at 90 proof, so 45% ABV. And in my area, this one retails for around the $20. No, actually, I think this is like $17 or $18, but we'll just say 20. But I think this is actually 17 or 18 bucks in my area. That's another thing I was gonna say too. So as far as my list, yes, they may be more expensive in your area. So just because I know I'm gonna hear it in the comments, they may be more expensive in your area, or with taxes. I didn't include taxes, so without taxes, and like I said, they may be more expensive in your area, but I think it's like within $10-15 from what somebody else would pay. But here in New Mexico, the prices tend to be a little bit better, in my opinion, than when I go to other places and I see bourbon prices. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This is not like end all be all as far as the price, but this is what I pay in my area. So first on my list is 1783. And a good backup for this one that I would pick as a good backup would be Evan Williams 100 proof. So this Evan Williams 100 proof, this one too is right around the $18 to $20 mark in my area. So 50% ABV, and it's a bottled in bond. So being bottled in bond, it's at least 4 years old and 100 proof. So this one's very solid as well. I get a lot of that Heaven Hill nuttiness, but also a good finish, and just a solid like bourbon. Just you get your classic bourbon notes and flavors, but it's something dependable and something that won't let you down, especially for the price. So the Evan Williams 1783 is first on my list, and the backup is the bottle and bond. And you can interchange these however you want, but I picked the 1783. All right, number 2 on my list is also one for, I wouldn't say bottom shelf, but just something to keep it right around the $20 mark as well. This one may be $25 in some area, but as far as my area, it's $20, and sometimes I've even seen it under $20. But number 2 on my list is Wild Turkey 101. So if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that this is one of my favorite bourbons as far as just like an everyday sipping bourbon. The Wild Turkey 101 is definitely the one. Like I said, this is about $20 in my area. It's 101 proof. And of course it comes out of the Wild Turkey distillery, and just classic, again, classic bourbon flavors. There's a good theme here going, just a classic bourbon flavors, but just deeper and richer, especially for what you're paying. This one here, I get a ton of cinnamon, baking spices, some of that orange peel as well. At a good proof and a good finish. You know, I get a lot of vanilla icing on there as well. Just a ton of good flavors. Never lets me down. You always know what you're gonna get. So this one, always keep around and always solid. So a good backup for this one, as far as what I picked, I would say would be the Fighting Cock 101 proof. So this is this is 103 proof. And this one, I believe, is out of the Heaven Hill Distillery. And I'm not sure how widely available it is in most places. I think it's pretty available in most places. And in my area, believe it or not, this is only $17. And talk about value. So 103 proof, like I mentioned, for $17. It may be a little more in other areas, but you know, you get a good long finish. You get your vanilla, your caramel, your deep cinnamon. And the only knock I would have on this one, which is not too much because it is only $17, is that it's a little bit grain forward as far as for my palate. But besides that, you know, it's a solid product. And this used to be age stated 6 years, I believe, and they took off the age statement, but still solid. And every time I pick it up, you know, it's not gonna let me down. So this is one to keep an eye on. So this is a good backup for the Wild Turkey 101. All right, number 3 on my list. So let's say you want something a little bit sweeter. So something a little bit sweeter, something more dessert-like, and a little bit more that even beginners could get into. It has a sweeter palate. So my pick for this this next one is around the $60 mark in my area. Like I said, could be more in some other areas. So for my pick is Sagamore Rye. This is the double oak. So talk about one of my favorite and one of my go-tos. I've mentioned them before in other episodes, but a ton of like cotton candy, chocolate, caramel, just a lot of deep, rich, dark flavors, very oak forward. It's sweet oak, just a ton of like sweet flavors. And this one here is one to, if you have not tried anything from Sagamore Spirits, just give them a try. I believe all they make mainly is ryes, but they do a lot of finishes and just a lot of different type of ryes that this is one to keep an eye on. So far I have let's say 20, 20, and then a $60 bottle. So right here we have $100 so far. So a good backup for this, which is also one of my go-tos. I would say if you can't find this, or if you want to just try something else, so for me it would be Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Again, this one is right around the $55 to $60 mark in my area. This is a store pick, by the way, but just I feel like this is a little bit darker maybe than the Double Oak for Sagamore. This one's maybe a little bit darker, a lot more chocolate coming out of this one. I even get a lot of cherry out of this one, but a lot of sweet oak as well. So just these two here are more like dessert-like whiskeys in my opinion. This one's a rye and this one's just a bourbon, but they're very similar as far as the double oak notes that I get. A lot of similar notes, but more than anything, they're very desserty and just a lot of sweet notes and sweet flavors coming out of these. So this is, I believe, a good backup. And again, you can interchange these however you want. This could have, I just decided to put the Sagamore first, but either way, you can't go wrong with any of these. So that's 3 down, 2 to go. All right, so next on my list is actually what I'm currently drinking here. Let's see. Yeah, so next on my list, and in my area, this goes for $50. I think it's 55 to 60 in some other areas, but I found this for $50. And always a go-to, always one that I try to keep around, which I hadn't seen in my area for maybe 3 or 4 months, and then all of a sudden it's popped up again. So I'm not sure if there was a shortage or what was going on with that. But number 4 on my list, and these are in no particular order as well. So Wild Turkey Rare Breed. So this one here is 116.8 proof. This is always one that I keep around, and like I said, I couldn't find it for a long time, and then maybe 2 or 3 months ago I was able to find the bottle again, and now I'm seeing them on the shelves more regularly. But you talk about value, this is another one for $50 for 116.8 proof, and something with a long finish, a lot of citrus, a lot of orange peel, a lot of cinnamon, just a lot of those. It's very similar, I would say, to the Wild Turkey 101, but just amped up, like double what this is. So if you like the flavors from the 101, this is pretty much that, just ramped up to max. So definitely, if you have not tried it, for maybe the people that are new or wanting to get into something more of a high proof, so I believe this is something that won't let you down, and excellent flavors. So, and a good backup for this one, in my opinion. I could have picked many others. I wanted to pick something with high proof, so I got my dessert bourbons. I have my more of high proof, low pricing, and then my bottom shelf, I would say. So a good backup for this one. I could have picked many different high proof bourbons, but I just decided to pick this. I feel like they don't get talked about as much, but a good one would be 1792 Foolproof. Now this is a store pick that I picked up a while ago. This is 125 proof, and that's 62.5% ABV. But this one here was excellent, just a lot of chocolate, a lot of deep rich caramel, cherry, a lot of spice, a good long lingering finish. So I feel like this one here is, and it's about the same price, about the $50 mark in my area. So it could have been even a little bit less, maybe $45, but I think it was around the $50 mark. But another excellent choice. And again, these ones could have been it could have been the other one first and then the other one as the backup. Either way you go with these, they're both very good, and I always try to keep around. So now we're down to the last one. This one here is more of a again, high proof, but in this section here, I wanted to pick something single barrel. So as far as single barrel, they can differ from bottle to bottle. The profile's more or less the same, but they can be different as far as the profile from bottle to bottle. So I wanted to add a single barrel selection on here. So as far as my area for the $50 mark, it's gonna be Knob Creek single barrels. So this one here is these are usually the 120 proof, and they vary in ages. They used to you used to be able to find these 14, 15-year-old as far as a single barrel, but I think that's kind of rare now. But the one I have here is 10 years old, 120 proof for $50. I mean, this is, talk about another value bottle. You cannot go wrong with this. So if you're looking into getting into something that's available and single barrel and high proof for only $50, this one's an excellent choice, and you cannot go wrong with this one out of the Jim Beam Distillery. All right, so a good backup for this, I would say. I was kind of debating what to pick, and I kind of have a lot of, well, not a lot. I mean, this will be, the third Wild Turkey product, but a good alternative to this one would be, for me, the Russell's Reserve single barrel. So this one here is 110 proof. 55% ABV. And as far as Russell's, you know, you can never go wrong with Russell's single barrel, or a lot of even the regular Russell's, which is a 10-year-old product, for about $30 to $35. So that's another good value bottle. But as far as the single barrel, these two, I had not seen the single barrel for probably like 4 or 5 months in my area, and then all of a sudden I started seeing them on shelves again. So I'm not sure what was going on with that. But as far as the single barrel, again, I could have picked this one, and then the Knob Creek could have been a backup. But you know, these, you cannot go wrong with these. I feel like the flavors in the single barrel maybe a little bit darker than maybe the rare breed. They tend to be like more towards the darker side of the flavors and the nose and the palate, in my opinion, than the rare breed. The rare breed, in my opinion, is more towards the baking spice side, a little bit brighter, but excellent as well. So there you guys have it. As far as these, this one's 20, 20, 60, 50, and 50. So that's $200 right there. So, and with the backup. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you guys would have put on your list for $200. Maybe these are more in your area and you would add something else, or maybe let me know something that I missed. Just drop a comment and let me know, was there something that, you know, I missed or that you thought I was wrong about? Just let me know. So if you guys like my content, remember to smash that like button, remember to subscribe, and keep it legit and do it for the love of whiskey. Cheers.